our next and final in the expert category. You've all heard her yesterday, just like you've heard everybody that's been on the stage already. It is my pleasure to introduce Heather K. Rine, is an accomplished thinking into results specialist. She's an innovative SOP builder, a #1 best-selling author, a trainer, a playbook creator in the business realm, with over 20 years of knowledge from working as a high school principal and building schools from the ground up. Heather knows exactly how to connect with people to help them overcome their blocks and to own who they are. Welcome to the stage, our next expert, Heather K. Rine.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the subconscious, using gardening analogies. We had a huge garden at my house. I never knew what vegetables, fruit tasted like outside of our own yard. It took a lot of work, sweat equity style, right? So here we are, picking beans, chopping them up, freezing them for the winter. I just want to tell you, the tomatoes in upstate New York, they're legitimate. I know I've met so many people that can't stand tomatoes. Yeah, she never ate them from New York, from the soil. What's in the soil is part of the recipe to create such great, nutritious food. So, when we're talking about gardening, how does it start? What are the conditions to make something grow? Sunlight, rain, nurturing by pulling those weeds. Can't have them too close, otherwise they strangle out the water from each other. Okay. So if we're looking at the subconscious from the gardening perspective, seeds get planted before we're even out of the womb. There's intergenerational transference. There's things you know but you don't know. But you can walk in that power. All the generations before us, they gave us something, a foundation. And then we walk our walk. Not from tabula rasa, not from a blank slate, but those who came before us. Okay. The subconscious, it doesn't know good or bad, it just does. In fact, maybe there isn't any good or bad. Something was planted there, and it became a filter. Maybe even weed, or you grow beautiful fruit that serves you in your walk. I want to take you down a path to where, when you're walking through the weeds, and those are more rooted than the fruit you're growing, how do you start cultivating that? How do you water that? A big thing is your environment. Who are you hanging out with? They're your water. They're your light. They're your nutrients. So when you're trying to rise up out of the dirt, just to be a flower, just to be a tomato, a zucchini, whatever your favorite is. I like the imagery there. It matters. Everything that's around you is absorbed. It just is. So, what if you have some weeds? Let's give them some names. Not good enough? Not worthy enough? How do those grow? Can you get that beautiful juicy tomato? Maybe. To undo those weeds, rather than just pull them, you have to honor yourself. You can't let the bugs come in and take it away. The ego can really get in your way when you're trying to cultivate a new thought. Because there's something deeply rooted there, and the ego says, oh, no, no, no. You can't change that. We've already grown what we needed there. You're good. So what I tell my clients Yeah, tell the ego I'm good. Thanks for getting me here right now. Thanks for growing me this far. How do you change a thought that's become a habit, that's become a belief, and it distorts our self-image and who we are? How do we unpack that? It's all in the writing. The seeds are planted. Who do you want to be? It comes through the writing 100 times a day. What do you want to change? A non-productive activity into something productive, because you want to grow something new. Maybe you don't like lima beans, so you write it out. I'm not a product of my environment by choice, but I can make a choice. So, writing what you want to be, act as if. Tell the subconscious what you want, you order it up. If you can't, you can't. If you can, you can. Writing. Start the day in gratitude. Remind yourself how great you are. Water yourself. Fill your cup so you can serve others. I don't care if it's 100 times before your feet hit the floor. You got to tell yourself what you want. You have to provide the nutrients in your own soil to grow into what you want to be. Who do you want to become? Act as if until you become writing. I am so grateful and thankful that I've planted seeds that produce so I can talk to your heart and bring a little more of you to the surface by clearing out the weeds. I have some homework for you. Before your feet touch the ground tomorrow morning, give yourself 10 reasons to get out of bed. Before your feet hit the floor, tell yourself how much you're loved. It's got to come from you, not from the external out. The environment can only be a little part of that recipe. Thank you.
Semifinalist in the expert category is a woman who comes from education, building schools from the ground up. An expert who comes from the role of being a principal, but now lives in the world of helping people overcome subconscious blocks. How is she going to do that? She's going to come to the stage and share with you her expertise on exactly that. Please welcome to the stage, once again, Heather K. Rine!
I need to turn the vibration up since you're letting me up here again. So, I was supposed to graduate in 1990, but I'm only 27. I never graduated. I became a high school principal. What's up with that? I never graduated high school. I got taken out. I had a sports injury. The only reason I went to school was to play 3 sports, swimming, volleyball, and softball. I didn't see a reason to go to boys were cute, but not cute enough to keep me engaged. So I kind of looked at education as something that failed me. I never got a principal's license. I'm an industrial organizational psychologist, professional counselor, anatomy and physiology teacher, with a self-image problem. You know, I had a story to tell, and I got called into the vice principal's office. That's noticed something about me. So you know, school is so much safer than my home. I couldn't tell the story to the principal. I shrunk down and I never went back to school, the vice principal. So, a lot of years later, I kept education. Came after a bunch of leadership opportunities. I was like, oh man, I build things. I didn't know. Unconscious confident, I heard, come across as a label. I'm like, all right.
class full. As a teacher, started off in Henderson, Nevada at Nicomeat Christian Academy. Yeah, I love Vegas most of the time. So, they gave me a lot of freedom. And what I found out for these kids are just like me. A little bit lost, a little bit sassy, challenging the rules. You can't put me into rubrics and tell me to perform. I have a different way I explain. Because I want to talk to your heart, and I want to know who you are, and then I want to build an avenue to help get you on your way. Just want to plant the seed to help you grow. So what did I do? I disrupted that, not education. I got 2 shots at it, opened up a school, concurrent enrollment. I built all of these pathways, but it wasn't about me. It was about the students that I saw sitting in front of me that didn't have an opportunity because they had to get inside the rubrics, get in the box and perform. Don't be yourself. What do you mean you're an artist? Well, can you prove math mastery through an art project? Yeah, they can. So there was concurrent enrollment. That was cool. 10 colleges, hooked them up, graduated 19-year-olds with bachelor's degree in education. 19-year-olds graduating with 4-year degrees. Hello? Talk about using government money. They did it. I just created the path. It wasn't about me. I just know that education failed me because I couldn't do that path. I couldn't walk that walk. And I didn't want to. I wanted to bring my light in a different way. All right. Colorado Early Colleges is where the first school was built. There's 7 of them now.
Wow.
Take another step. All right, that's cool. I did the dean thing. I opened up the school. All these kids are successful. I'm a seed planter, right? I don't know if I'm going to hang around and watch them grow. But I love how these students come back into my life. But it's weird because now they're married with kids, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Remember I said I graduated in 1990, but I'm 27. I never was that great at math. So, how about opening an entrepreneurship school? And cross it with 16 habits of success. Because what I found out in the last 6 years, the deck of cards is lacking purpose and resiliency for our young folks in high school. So how about 16 habits of success? Drilled through state standards in a tricky way, because I want to bring more of you to the surface. You're not a GPA to me. You don't have to test to me. So parents were nervous. I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't care. Because I know that emotional resiliency is the most important thing. That's cool that you need algebra to go to college. But what about you? Hello, I didn't graduate from college. Did you hear my degrees? Right. All right. They're expensive pieces of paper that sit on my floor, by the way. I wanted to attack the suicide card that's in the deck. I wanted to create pathways just based on what students were telling me that I was learning from the culture. That's it. To create solutions, not add more issues. So, act as if until you become. High school dropout becomes a principal. Pretty cool headline. Even when you're not sure what you're doing, the road is always lifted up to your feet. And what's in that cave sometimes is fear, but the treasure that's on the other side is how the ocean rises. How the ocean rises. Did you hear me? That's all of us contributing.